MegaPodTastic. Good morning, MegaPodlings. Krazy Joe's here, and 2019 marks the 40th anniversary of the Muppet movie. And tonight, for one night only, well, 2 nights only, but we missed the first night, it's back in theaters thanks to Fathom Events. So we are here at the old Regal to see the Muppet movie. Wait. Clean teeth, dirty streets. Clean teeth, dirty streets. There it is, the Muppet movie. Well, it was showing on Theater 1, but then it flipped over to the Lion King. There it is, the Muppet movie. The Muppet movie. Gonna see the Muppet movie. Gonna see the Muppet movie. There it is. The Muppet movie. The Muppet movie. All right, let's talk about the 40th anniversary of the Muppet movie. Wow, seeing this movie in theaters again was quite a treat. I did not see it in theaters in its initial release. I was very young. I was 3 years old. And I'm not saying my parents didn't take me to the movies at 3, though now that I think about it, they probably didn't. What age did I see my first movie? That's a good question. I don't really remember. The earliest movies I remember seeing in the theater are Superman 2, which would have been about a year later, 1980, and Song of the South, which, if we look back up the release dates, obviously that movie didn't originally come out in the 80s, but when was that movie's re-release dates is the question. I think that would probably put it around 1980 as well. So my parents probably didn't start taking me to the movies till I was 4. So I did not see the Muppet movie in its original release. However, I grew up watching it on TV. I grew up watching it on VHS. I used to have it on VHS taped off of our local channel, Channel 17. This movie is a classic. It's not the first time I've seen it in the theater. I've seen re-releases of it before. The Colonial Theater, the theater that where the movie The Blob was shot, that hosts Blobfest every July, they've had screenings of it in the past, and I've attended at least one, if not more, of those screenings. So this is not my first time seeing the Muppet movie up on the big screen. However, we took the family, and Jackie saw it on the big screen for the first time, and Keira saw half of it. It really holds up. It's a great movie. It's not my favorite Muppet movie. It really isn't. It was directed by James Frawley, who also directed many, many, many of the Monkees' most memorable episodes of their TV series. But my favorite of the Muppet movies was 1984's The Muppets Take Manhattan. It was Frank Oz's directorial debut. Well, kind of. Frank Oz co-directed The Dark Crystal in 1983, but he was co-director with Jim Henson. The Muppets Take Manhattan was the first movie where Frank Oz directed and got a solo credit. And that's my favorite of the movies. However, the Muppet movie is probably a close second, a very close second. The Muppet movie is just delightful. It's a road trip movie, how the Muppets came together, how they went from cross country to Hollywood to become Hollywood stars. It's got great Paul Williams songs. Like, I think right off the top of my head, Rainbow Connection and Moving Right Along are just incredibly memorable. Everyone knows those songs. Everyone loves those songs. But I don't even know if those are my favorites. I mean, Rainbow Connection probably is. Rainbow Connection. But Moving Right Along, as popular and as great as that song is, I actually like Gonzo's song, I'm Gonna Go Back There Someday, and Rolf and Kermit's duet, Can't Live With 'Em, Can't Live Without 'Em. I probably like those two songs more than I like Moving Right Along. It kind of set the stage of what to expect from a Muppet movie? Well, I don't know if that's true. Because every Muppet movie's different, you know? Really, every Muppet movie's different. Because in the Muppet movie, they're themselves. But it's a story of how they came together, how they met. Then in The Great Muppet Caper, it's a story where they are themselves again. Like Kermit's Kermit, Fozzie's Fozzie. But they're playing roles. They're playing the role of Kermit and Fozzie are these two brothers who are newspaper reporters. And it's scripted. They're shooting a movie in the movie. Like in the movie, they acknowledge that they're making a movie. And it's them kind of playing parts, but they're playing parts as like fictionalized versions of themselves. Then you've got the Muppets Take Manhattan, in which they're supposed to be college graduates and they're, you know, just getting out of college. And we get the impression that's where they met. So it's like every kind of Muppet movie kind of... Continuity is not important to the Muppets. It really isn't. Like, you can take the Muppets and throw them in any scenario. Then you get the ones like Muppet Treasure Island and Muppet Christmas Carol, which, much like Great Muppet Caper, they're playing roles. But this time, they're not playing roles where it's fictionalized versions of themselves. Like in Muppet Caper, Kermit and Fozzie were Kermit and Fozzie, but they were playing newspaper reporters. In Christmas Carol and Treasure Island, they're playing roles of Bob Cratchit and Charles Dickens and Fozziewig and you know. So every Muppet movie does very much its own thing. So I was going to say it kind of set the stage to what to expect from a Muppet movie, but that's really not true because every Muppet movie gives you something so wildly different that I don't know that there is something to expect from a Muppet movie. The bottom line is, though, it's movie magic. It really is movie magic. It's great. It's funny. It's charming. It's got great music. The celebrity cameos are terrific. My favorite is Steve Martin. Steve Martin is so funny in that movie as the waiter. Yes, may I? You may serve us, waiter. Oh, may I? Would you like to smell the bottle cap? Oh my God, he's great. And Mel Brooks is hilarious in it too. All the celebrity cameos are great, but I think Mel Brooks and Steve Martin are my two favorites. The Orson Welles is pretty good too, because Orson Welles doesn't even really say much. He just comes in and looks at them and gives a little minor smile. It's classic. It's a classic. Well, here's some interesting trivia. Did you know that one of the celebrity cameos in the Muppet movie was Elliot Gould, and he also had a cameo in Muppets Take Manhattan. And at that time, he was the only actor to have a celebrity cameo in 2 Muppet movies. Since then, Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta has had cameos in 2 Muppet movies. He was in Muppets from Space in '99 and Muppets Most Wanted. So Ray Liotta has tied Elliot Gould. Now, some people may claim that Whoopi Goldberg has had cameos in more than one, but that's not true. Because some of the ones that Whoopi Goldberg has cameoed in were made for TV movies, so they don't count. We're just talking theatrical films. In any event, once again, a big thank you to Fathom Events for giving us an opportunity to see a classic on the big screen that we otherwise probably would not have gotten to see on the big screen again. And I appreciate that, and I say thank you, Fathom Events. Thank you very, very much. In sad news, this was the 4th movie that I've ever taken Keira to. She's gone to the movies 4 times now. And she has sat through 2 movies. And she has gotten up and squirmed and wiggled and not wanted to sit through the other 2. The 2 she sat through were both animated films. The Grinch and Toy Story 4. The Illumination version of The Grinch and Toy Story 4. The 2 she would not sit through were a Fathom Events release of Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas last year and the Muppet movie. So let's look at the commonalities here. Number 1, the 2 Fathom Events were held at the same theater, the Warrington Regal Theater, which does not have the most comfortable seats. You know, the AMC Theater, the seats recline, they're super comfy. Whereas the Warrington, they're more old-style seats. They're not as comfy. And Keira, I could tell, was having trouble, like, sitting in the seat because she was down a little too low. So it was not the optimal seating for her. Also, the 2 Fathom events that were Muppet Movies, my wife was present. And I've noticed Keira relates to my wife a little different than she relates to me. She doesn't relate to us the same way. She's, I'd say more often than not, a mommy's girl. She wants mommy more than she wants daddy. Not to say she never wants daddy, but she wants mommy more. But I've noticed that when I'm alone with Keira, she tends to be a little calmer than she is when she's with my wife. I don't know why that is. I'm not sure what that is. It might just be different personalities, because we've mentioned before on these channels, I don't have much of a temper. I don't get very angry. And I think sometimes when she acts up, I have maybe an ability to keep my cool, whereas my wife, and I don't say this to disparage her in any way, because her strengths and my strengths and her weaknesses and my weaknesses, I think, balance us out. I think we're a perfect couple because of that. We balance each other out. But she does have more of a temper than I do. And I think Keira sometimes, because Keira can be very demanding, has a tendency to... she doesn't have my threshold of patience. So sometimes I wonder if that's why Keira is a little quieter sometimes when she's around just daddy. Like if my natural calm has an ability to bring her down. I don't know that this is the case. So here's the scenarios we have. It could be that Keira just responds better to animation than she does puppets. It could be that the 2 times we went and saw the animation, it was just daddy and Keira and mommy wasn't there. It could be that she gets more excited when mommy is there because she is a mommy's girl and she and mommy have a different relationship than she has with daddy. And that might get her just more wound up and she can't sit still. It could be that the seating was different. There's several scenarios. I don't know which it is. I don't really want to believe that she just doesn't like puppets, because that would wound her daddy to the core, because her daddy loves puppets so much. I mean, everyone's different. My kid doesn't have to like the same things I like. I don't expect them to, but it would sting a little. She does like Sesame Street though, so I don't know. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that made her not want to sit through the Muppets, but want to sit through these animated films. It could just be she doesn't relate to the Muppets. It could be that she was more amped up because mommy was there. It could be that she was just not comfortable in the seats. I don't know. I don't know the answer. It would be interesting to show her a Muppet movie in the comfy reclining AMC seats and see if she responds to the film differently. But I don't know. I don't know. Bottom line, though, is Keira did not want to sit through the Muppet movie. She didn't get to see the film. I mean, she saw half of it, but still. Jackie liked it. Jackie liked it. So, yeah, Fathom Events is doing it again this fall. 40th anniversary of Star Trek The Motion Picture. I'm looking forward to checking out Star Trek The Motion Picture. Only Star Trek movie I've ever not seen on the big screen. Star Trek 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. All saw them on the big screen. Most of them more than once. Never seen the motion picture on the big screen. So this will be my first time seeing Star Trek The Motion Picture on the big screen this September. So thank you, Fathom Events, for making this possible. And thank you for bringing us the Muppet movie. A delight to see it on the big screen again. If it ever comes around again on the big screen and you've never seen it on the big screen, go check out the Muppet movie on the big screen. If you've never seen the Muppet movie, check it out. I saw a poll recently on what is the best Disney live-action movie ever made, and the Muppet movie won the poll, which is interesting because, yes, it is now a Disney movie. Disney does now own the Muppet movie, but when it was made, it was not made by Disney. It was made by Lord Grade Productions, a British company. But now Disney has, through buyouts and acquisitions, they now own it, and it was voted one of the best Disney live-action movies of all time, which is kind of funny because it didn't even start out as a Disney movie. But if you've never seen it, you should. It's a classic. Keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas. With the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas. With the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open, it's a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander adamas. But no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. I know we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.